Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the SBP. It is the final week of the NFL regular season, so we're here to kick it with y'all. We appreciate all of y'all joining us. As always, I'm your boy Prime. Source was good.
Prime, what up? It's another day, another 32 cents. But it is the last call for alcohol up in this joint. Last call, y'all. For all them teams that's trying to lock in. Last chance. Last dance.
Not the throwback.
Yay.
And no doubt, back with us once again is my guy Didge. Didge, what's good?
Oh, happy to be here. Happy to talk some football, get some joy out of this game that has killed me all year.
Yeah, it's been a rough one.
It's been a very rough one.
What's wrong for me, but extra rough for you.
You know what's wrong. You've seen my team. You picked against them many a time this year.
I don't understand what the problem is. Like
you see what's wrong. We don't have a defense. We don't have an offense. We just go out there and hope.
Are y'all gonna ask you this? Are y'all gonna have a coach after today?
Man, listen to Juwan. No, I say it's his first year. Give him at least another year, but it's been a rough one. I can understand if he get fired.
My thoughts, I'm thinking like with Mayo, man, I'm thinking like the organization coming in, they had to know this was going to be a rough year. Like I'm thinking they had to know this was going to be a rough year. I don't see how you just pull, unless there's some things just going on that we don't see on the front end. And I can't imagine that because the guy's been a part of your organization for him, so they know the guy.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't see how you got ties with him.
I don't know. It's been he didn't do himself any favors. They asked him, I think it was like it might have been right after the draft or something. But basically they are asking him like, y'all won 4 games last year. Do you guys see that's going to be an improvement? And he was so confident saying, yeah, of course, we're going to win more than 4 games. And they have been sharing that for like the past 4 weeks because as it's going, we for sure ain't going to win more than 4 games. And it's like, hopefully Buffalo is resting and we can, eke out to get the 4 games again. Then it's, do you want to get the first pick? You saw what happened when New York, when they won, now they don't get the first pick. So it's like, there's just, nobody's about to be happy after today.
Yeah, I think I don't know how attractive the first pick for you guys because you're going to have a high pick regardless. Since obviously I'm not taking the talks about the quarterbacks. Okay,
right.
You guys are not going to draft a quarterback. I feel like no matter what happens to you guys this year, you're in prime position unless somebody just wants to play spoiler because there is a Tennessee team in there that could actually be sitting somewhere within the first couple of picks. It could get very interesting with them in their quarterback situation. But unless they wanted to play spoil and say, you know what, we used to having pretty good DBs out here, over the years. Maybe we go out and get a Travis Hunter, which I think is pretty much should be a lock to you guys, regardless. I think.
Right. That's who the idea is that we're going to take, and I think that's sort of where people are getting worried. Where it's like if you fall out of that top, because you're assuming 1, 2, 3, he's going to be somewhere in there. Like there's probably going to be 2 quarterbacks and him. Like it's Shedeur, probably Cam Ward, and then Travis Hunter, depending on how the teams fall there. But if we win, we could potentially fall to like that 4 or 5 range, and that's where it gets iffy if he's still going to be around. Because I don't think that there's 3 quarterback prospects that are like I think the number 3 quarterback prospect is Jalen Milroe, and I don't think he's going top 5.
Yep. Yeah, and depending on how he performs in the combine, which I imagine physically that he'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
He may not go 3. There's a couple of guys that think about. Well, a couple of guys hadn't made the decision to say what they were going to do either. But
and I think that's all.
But we know the 2 are. We know Cam Ward and we know Shedeur. No matter what you hear about I think somebody was reporting the other day that there's some GMs say they don't even have a first round grade on Shedeur. I mean, he's going within the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, Oh well, Vegas is somewhere down there. Like
Vegas, yeah.
If he's there when Vegas is picking,
it's done.
Out. It's over. Like if he's there when New York is picking, it's over.
Yeah, I'm hoping that New York wins again today. I need New York to win today. Need y'all to get further out of those first couple of picks as possible. I just don't like people that I really like going to squads that I got to compete against.
That's fair.
I'm already dealing with that with Jaden Daniels. It's a struggle.
Oh yeah,
it's a real struggle to root against the young man when you kind of don't want to root against him, but you want to root against that squad. So it's real. I know Source don't give a darn because his team is sitting pretty. They out here winning divisions and stuff, and just
I'm mad at them too. They should have let Saquon They need to let Saquon go for the record.
Oh yeah, and they can today. They can afford to do that. When you're sitting on top of things, you feel
right.
So
we're going to discuss that, Bryce. We're going to discuss that.
We're going to discuss it right now. We're going to discuss it right now. So it's a perfect segue. We're going to talk about your boy Saquon choosing to not get the record, but then all of a sudden thinking about it and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe I would go for the record. But then your man Sirianni wanted to shut it down and said, no, we're going to rest folks. So I need to hear from somebody that's in-house, Bird Gang and all that, my man Source, your feelings on him not going for the record.
Listen, man, when your goals are more than to break a record, you got to consider things differently. I would love for Saquon to break the record. However, if we look back about 8 or so weeks when Saquon could have gotten back out there, I know it was way out, weren't thinking about the record at the time maybe as much, but there was an opportunity to get some more yards, which would have put you that much closer to the record, which would have made it a little more interesting. Like if you're 40 yards away, you're going for it. Like you're going for it because you can do that in a half or less.
Right.
But 101 yards requires not only Saquon, it requires Saquon, the offensive line, and some weapons on the outside to be on the field. Now, if you want to risk everybody for a whole game for the record, hey, I'm not even going to argue. If the Eagles would have gone for it, I'd be like, cool, we just riding. Right. Them not going for it is the logical move. It's the logical move. Like, why put everybody at risk, especially when your quarterback's been down on concussion protocol for multiple weeks?
Right.
And you're going to just let everybody get banged up more? And then he come back and he ain't right, like, and you take an L in the first game? Not that that's not possible. You still could take an L in the first game, but still, this is the logical move. It's the wise move, and it's the reason that most of us are not in the position to make these decisions because we still think with our heart and not with the logic and looking at what the actual goal is. So I'm good with it.
101 yards to pass the great Eric Dickerson, who made, no secret about it. He didn't want the man to break the record. He was catching flack for that. I don't know why he's catching flack for it.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Especially when they chose not to listen to the whole, the rest of his comments, and then when he was, of course, I don't want him to break it. I mean, who would want him to break it? But I'm not rooting against him in so many words. This is what it is. Blah blah blah. Who would really want somebody to break your record? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Who would want somebody to break your record? That doesn't mean that you can't give them their props and celebrate them when they do. But that record is yours. Y'all don't say nothing to the Dolphins every time somebody about to go, about to go undefeated. And my man Mercy Morris, my guy, no doubt, eternal, will come out there and say, hey, we still got it, even though it's less games. But I don't understand why it's got to be hating, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why it's got to be hating.
Yeah, no, I didn't understand that either. I think when he was saying the only people who want people to break their records are people without records, it's very true. Like, you want to be immortalized and say nobody hit my mark, but you're not out there saying like, oh, I hope he get hurt so he don't get it. He's just literally like, I don't want you to do it, but if it happens, hey, congrats, you did it. Like, that's the right way to go about it.
Agreed.
Yeah, people seem to forget. I think it says a whole lot about Saquon, though. Even though he did say after he slept on it, he said, you know what, maybe I will go for the record. And then Sirianni and him talked and said, now, if you don't mind, I would like to go ahead and keep you out there because we're going to rest everybody. But you think about it, wasn't it early in the season? Weren't they playing the Giants when he had a chance to break? I think it was his single game high, I believe it was. And he was what, 13 yards behind it, I think it was. And he was like, nah, we got bigger fish to fry. It's not that big. Now, he could have just went out there and said, hey, look, yeah, I'm going to get this record. I'm going to get against these people that did what they did to me. You know what I'm saying? And ship me off. You see what I'm saying? And he decided, like, nah, we good, coach. Let's go on. Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's just move on. So I think it says a whole lot for Saquon Barkley, because I think his single season was 189. Needless to say, not long after that, was it a few games after that, he bust what was source? Was it 255?
I don't know what it was exactly.
It was over. So he broke. I think it was like 250 or 255 or something like that. So I think it says a whole lot about Saquon Barkley, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat as well. I didn't forget y'all, man. Don was good, and in the house was good. Everybody else checking us out, man. We appreciate you, whether you're over on Facebook, whether you're over in the YouTube, you coming through the X platform, whatever. We appreciate y'all checking us out, man. But I think it says a whole lot about Saquon Barkley, man. I really do. I really do. So needless to say, you're pretty happy with this acquisition this season, huh? I mean,
yeah, of course I am. Now, I do have to say that when the move was made, I was a little leery. I was like, I mean, if he don't get hurt, it'll be great. I think I leaned a little too much into if he doesn't get hurt. I mean, obviously, if he doesn't get hurt, it's great if he plays well. But there was no reason to really focus on him getting injured any more than anybody else, because not like we've seen him injured, multiple times, but might have put too much on it. But either way, yes. Thank you, Saquon. Thank you, Howie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Giants organization. That's what
I was going to say. You need to thank them.
Thank you.
Definitely need to thank them.
Thank you. If we win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna send the Giants organization my book. I'm gonna send like 50 books to the Giants organization. Shorts from source, from me to you. Just as a thank you.
What's interesting you mentioned about if y'all win the Super Bowl, because I know that you guys recognize just about all of these guys, or all these guys that we have here on the screen, which of all of the folks that have hit the 2,000 mark in the National Football League. Only one of those guys actually won the Super Bowl in the same year that they went for 2,000. You guys know which one it was?
There ain't but two options.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
It's Jamal Lewis.
No.
Terrell Davis?
It's Terrell Davis.
Dang.
Yeah.
It was 90. Was it 98?
98.
Yeah.
Yep, 98. Do you remember Jamal and them won it? When Jamal and them won it, Trent Dilfer was the quarterback, correct? Yeah.
2000.
So it's 2000. They didn't win that. When did they win that Super Bowl? Was it?
That was 2000.
The Super Bowl was 2000.
Yeah.
It was 2000. So and so he did the Jamal Lewis did the Russian in what year did he win it? Was it 2003?
I'm about to double check. I didn't know.
I think it's 2003.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what year.
Like at least two.
It was 03.
Yeah, at least 2 years or 3 years after they had won the Super Bowl. Yep. So,
fair enough.
TD stands alone, but some great ones up there, man. It is some great ones up there, man. I mean, all these guys.
Yeah.
There's only one person up there that the average, two. There's two people that the average fan, if they didn't know who it was or if they didn't recognize them, I mean, I'd be like, all right, I get it. And it's the one I mentioned, and then CJ2K.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy. The Titans had two rushers that went over 2,000.
Yep.
That's a good point.
That's crazy.
And only one person. Only one person up here. Like we're talking about 2,000, but only one person up here, or one person in history, has done 1,900 twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
That's crazy.
what's going to be something interesting that we're going to mention here in a minute. Actually, funny you said that. I wouldn't have thought about it till now, but I'm going to bring it up. But interesting thing that I had forgotten about, and I got to talking to a good friend of mine, dude by the name of Derek, man. I hadn't seen Derek in a long time, and just happened to bump into him. He lives in Carolina now, so I guess he was here visiting. And I bumped right into him not too long ago. He's a huge Minnesota Vikings fan, so he's walking around hollering "Skol" all the time. But he reminded me of something. You remember back when AP did it?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, man, he was less than 10 yards away from actually breaking a record, if I believe. Remember, he had the ligament issue, right, with his leg? Yeah, he was like less than 10 yards away from actually breaking the record.
He went for the rush. It was 13 seconds, and they rushed him to try to get it, and he couldn't get it.
Yeah.
I had forgotten about that. I definitely.
They said no.
It was against the Packers. I remember because my dad was like, "I need you to not make him get this record. You're not about to get this record on my team."
What do you guys think about people's feelings? I mean, a record is a record, so about what it means to people and how legit it is. It's going to be an ongoing conversation from here on out because we're always adding games, right? We're adding games all the time. We know that O.J. Simpson, I'm going to say the great O.J. Simpson, I don't care how y'all feel about it, did his thing in 14, something that Eric Dickerson acknowledges quickly. He'll tell you that man did it in 14 games. Averaging like 143 yards a game, which is insane, right? But we'll always have the talk about folks, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, someone breaking a record when it's taken even just one game more in some cases to surpass the record. What are you guys' feelings on that?
I'm torn with rushing because games don't mean as much when you can go a game and you attempt to rush 4 times. Like, I think Eric Dickerson, I saw somebody talking about, I think his took 300 and maybe 80 attempts.
I think 375.
Yeah, something around there, where I think Saquon on the year is at like 340.
340.
Yeah.
So it's like, sure, he played an extra game, and obviously now he hasn't because he's not going to play today. But in the same 16 games, he had 40 less rush attempts. So yards per rush was better. And I don't know how many OJ had, but it's like, again, it was 380 to, let's say OJ was at 350, 360 or whatever. It's still less attempts. Like, I get it, it's less games, but if you're used more of the workhorse in those games, isn't it attempts more than games?
Yeah.
I don't know because if you have more attempts per game, that means you're being used more per game.
Right.
So I think that applies as well. But I feel you on the overall statement though. OJ, what did OJ have? 2000.
He was, I think 2003. Yeah.
2003.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 332 attempts.
Oh, you found it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
what is that, dude? I think it should have. It's 6 yards per attempt. So that's
great.
That's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But that's in that same vein, like I said, Eric Dickerson, I got his up too now. His was 379 attempts, so he was 5.6 yards per game or yards per attempt, which is still great. Okay.
So which one do you appreciate more, the yards per attempt, the yards per game, or the total yards in a season?
That's tough.
Oh, that's tough, bro.
I want to say yards per attempt because I feel like that means you are more efficient as a runner. Like you're doing more damage per play.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's tough.
I can see the yards per game thing as well.
I can, yeah.
Because especially if your team is up and they're just giving you the ball late, you're not necessarily going to break off runs. Because you run the clock out,
right?
So there's always that. But as far as the comparison of the records, if we doing that, OJ is the leader. He's got the greatest season of all time. 14 games, bro. 14 games.
That's fair.
Now, Eric Dickerson said he did it in 15, but the season was 16. Right?
Right.
I don't remember ever being a 15 game season. So it was 16 games. He missed the game for whatever reason. I ain't got nothing to do with that. They ain't got nothing to do with me. So I can't like if we're talking about the overall record,
Right.
like he said I did it in 15 games, cool, but he did it in 16. He did it in a 16 game season. So if people could open their minds to appreciate all three separately, 14, 16, 17, if Saquon had gotten more yards than Eric Dickerson based on today's game, then we could understand there'd be three separate records to appreciate. Like, it's hard to, like, you can't tell me somebody hit 52 home runs in 140 games, and then somebody hit 62 home runs in 162 games, and, like, I can't appreciate both of them. I can appreciate both of them.
Yeah. And I just saw somebody tweeting about the passing record, Peyton's passing records.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 17 games for the past, 4 or 5 years, and nobody's close to it. So that extra game don't always mean nothing.
And early in the season, like the first half of the season, I kept waiting, like, where are the 300-yard passes?
Right.
Ain't nobody throwing for 300 yards at all? Like, nobody? People throwing for 159, having a good game. Oh, yeah, it was 17 for 21 and 159 yards.
When it is somebody throwing for 300, it's usually the same couple of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One person you can count on throwing for 300 a game, just about for sure. In today's game is going to be Joe Burrow.
You know what? And he's the passing lead, and he's 600 yards against everybody who has to play today. So he's likely nobody's gonna hit 5,000. He's at 49.
He's almost he's
at 49.
Less than 100 yards, right?
Yeah.
What he had 300 yesterday, right?
I'm sure
Had to be close.
277.
Yeah.
277. Okay, so he had 49. Yeah, ain't nobody getting close to that.
Yeah,
because there's nobody even remotely close, I don't think.
No, next closest to him is Jared Goff, who's at 43.98.
Yeah.
And he's not throwing for 600 yards today.
Even if he threw for 4, he's still not catching them.
Right. I think what NFL record in the game is 550.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're not going for, especially against that Vikings team.
Against Minnesota too. Yeah. Shoot. This jump about to be crazy tonight, but yeah.
It is.
And it's about to be absolutely bananas tonight for sure. Couple of quick things. One thing I wanted to note, though, looking at these great running backs up here, and we're talking about this 2000 crazy stat. The year that Barry Sanders went for his thing and got that 2000, they said through the first couple of games, through the first 2 games of the season, he had less than 60 yards rushing total.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he just exploded and went off.
Oh crap! Yeah,
I need to see that. I need to hear that. I need to hear
55 yards, 53 yards, right?
First game was against the Falcons. He rushed for 46 yards. Second game was against the Bucks. He rushed for 24 yards. Yep. Then he went off against the Bears in the third game and had 202, and it's basically was just downhill from there.
Crazy work.
Wow.
That's crazy work. Crazy work. They source had said something and talking about the 1,900 yard thing. Have you guys sat back? I don't and thought about, and I don't know if the word should be for folks would be appreciation or what it is, but just how crazy of a season we've had in some of these statistical categories. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about one. We talked about Joe Burrow leading the league in passing, and we already know what they're up against. They need a miracle times 80.
Yeah,
to make the playoffs, and it could happen though. But to have the leading receiver, leading passer, and the leading sack guy on the same squad, and you may not make the playoffs, right? You need a lot of help.
Outrageous.
Look, you have rushing we're talking about Saquon hitting over 2,000 yards rushing. But there's a 1,900-yard rusher right behind him.
Yeah.
Like,
alongside.
Alongside.
4,000 yard.
Yeah. Like, think about this.
No, that's crazy. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, that Baltimore offense was insane when you think about it. Like, I forgot Lamar had over 4. He might have had like 500-600 yards rushing.
800.
Yeah.
Oh I'm sorry, 9. He had 900. Yeah. He had 900.
God.
That's outrageous.
Right.
That Baltimore offense is insane.
First person to have 4,000 passing yards and over 800 rushing yards. And I think he had 924. I think it was something like that.
Dang.
Simply insane, man.
Insane.
Which actually leads into our next topic, which will be, once again, it's the end of the season, so we got to talk MVP again. We got to talk MVP again. And I know a lot of people's feelings on it being sewn and locked. Shout out to our guy, SVP OG. Don was like, Lamar done sold it up. He posted that yesterday. Yep. It is a done deal by all accounts in a lot of people's eyes. It may be, but I still, me personally, even with the outrageous season Lamar's had this year on all accounts, but last year, I still think that Josh Allen has a stake in the game. I just do. I just do. What you guys think?
Josh Allen shouldn't have a stake in the game. I agree with you. I think he does, but he shouldn't. Like, Buffalo and Baltimore's records are very, very close. Mm-hmm. And the stats outside of that, like outside of record, they don't match up. Josh Allen has 3,700 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Let me see his rushing stats real quick before I'm sure it's nowhere near close. Yeah, he has 102 rushing or 531 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal year. I get it. That's a great year. It sickens me as someone who hates Buffalo to see their quarterback do that well. But Lamar has 41, like you said, 4,100 yards, 41 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
And 3 of them weren't even his fault.
They weren't. Like, and then to cap that off, another 900 rushing yards. Granted, he only has 4 touchdowns, but again, we just talked about Derrick Henry. Like, it's. I don't think it should be even close, but I feel like a lot of times they don't like to give back-to-back MVPs. They don't like to give more than, I think this will be Lamar's 3rd, right?
Yep.
They don't like to get to that 3 or 4 category. That I think there's a reason why Peyton, why Brady, even Favre only have what I think Peyton might be the most with 4 or 5, but it was a struggle. Does he, Roger? I feel like that was a struggle. There were some years that Rodgers probably should have got MVP that he didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like the NFL for sure doesn't like to give those multiple MVPs, especially in a back-to-back year.
Right.
Man, listen, if we look back 4 weeks, maybe 4 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago, I was like, Josh Allen is the MVP. I was like, Josh Allen is the MVP. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was like, I said it's close, and if Lamar wins, I'm not gonna be mad. I'd rather Lamar win personally, but I was like Josh Allen, nah, because they only got they got 3 losses. They sold up their division a long time ago, and I was considering something that I don't know if it should be considered. The fact that he lost Diggs, and we look at their offense as not having a go-to guy, and everything being on him, which is not fair to, everybody. Cook, Kincaid, whoever you want to name on the squad. But you still look at it like it's Josh Allen and everybody else. But within these last few weeks, I think Lamar has just kind of separated himself, or past Josh, in my opinion, and separated himself from Josh Allen. If you just look at the sheer numbers. And I was heavily considering the fact that Buffalo had 3 L's, Baltimore had 5 L's. Baltimore was like, what, 9-5? They were 9-5, I think it was. And I was like, bro, they could lose a game. They could still lose a game, 2 games. Ain't nobody giving no MVP to nobody with 6-7 losses. That's what I was thinking. But that is not the case. So none of that even happened. I did probably 6-8 weeks ago. I said, what about Joe Burrow? I asked how high do you think Joe Burrow will finish in the MVP race? Because his numbers are outrageous. Now, in reality, he can't be no higher than like 4. Like, he can't be no higher than 4. He might be 3. 3 is probably a possibility, but I can't see him getting no higher than 4 at 9 and 8. Numbers is great. It looked great. You're still 9 and 8. You're 9 and 8. What you want me to do with that? MVP? If you're MVP, why y'all ain't 12 and 5? You know why?
The man say the MVP because without him, they wouldn't win but 3 games this year. That's what he's saying.
I mean, he's probably right.
I don't know. I mean, you got T. Higgins, and you
gotta give him the ball, though, dog.
Yeah, I don't know who their backup is, but I doubt he getting them 9 wins.
Well, congratulations, you got him the 9 wins. What you want me to do?
No, I'm with you. I don't think he deserves MVP. He's probably Offensive Player of the Year.
I think Saquon will get that.
Oh,
but
that's right.
That's gonna be interesting.
I forgot they don't split it for conferences. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Tough.
So interesting enough, my guy right here is kind of sharing my thoughts on this. It's my guy right here. Y'all know this is my son. He states Lamar has better stats, but Josh Allen has a better record and has done more with less and has beaten better teams than B-More, including KC and Detroit. So that's something to take into account. The only thing that Lamar can have as far as the record didn't Baltimore beat Buffalo early this year. I mean,
pretty badly too. 35-10.
So he did beat them early this year. I think Lamar had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. But beyond that, you can say that Josh Allen went out there and beat the guy that's going to end the season. Well, we don't know if they're going to end the season with 1 loss because the Kansas City ain't playing nobody today, like those daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they beat the number 1 seed and done a lot of damage. So I think he has a lot of stake in the game. Because if I was to tell most of you folks without looking up, and I would go out there and ask you to name me. So we know what Lamar got. Phenomenal. But we know what he got. He's got a Derrick Henry, right? I mean, do we punish these? Are we punishing people for having another MVP caliber type performer on your squad? I don't know.
Yes.
But
yes.
We should.
Yeah, but I'm going to also say, if we're going to do that, most people, if you were to ask them, if I'm going to take the top 3 or even the top 2 receivers from each of these teams, which lineup you going with? 99% of these people are going to tell you, I'm going to go with Bateman and Zay Flowers. Let me tell you why. Because they can't tell you who he's throwing the football to, who Josh Allen's throwing the football to. Don't y'all go look it up now. I'm going to tell you.
Well, I'm curious. You're going to tell me? Okay.
Don't go look that up. Don't go look up Mac Hollins. Don't go look up Keon Cole.
Right? Shakir.
You don't have Mark Andrews. He got Dalton Kincaid, who I think he's going to be good, but he ain't nowhere near Mark Andrews. James Cook, who's had a phenomenal season, he ain't holding the candle to Derrick Henry, bro. So we take away, he lost his center, which was one of the probably a top 5 or 6 center in the league. You lose defensive pieces like Tre'Davious White and Jordan Poyer. And still you go out there and handle your business. Josh Allen got a stake in this game. I don't care what Lamar stats are, bro.
And you can't use defensive players being out as part of it. He ain't out there batting down passes. That they defense still was just good. That ain't no Josh Allen.
I don't know. He scored 42 and lost. He scored 6 touchdowns. He was responsible for 6 touchdowns. I don't think he had any turnovers and lost. So
I'm just telling y'all.
And
Lamar probably gonna win it. Can y'all imagine the outrage if Lamar don't win it though and Josh Allen win it?
I don't think there should be outrage. I'll give you that. Like it,
well, it will be though.
It is.
There will be. It will be by us. We gonna be outraged. Black people gonna be like, man, this is racism. And I see racism and everything like some people do. I see it because I know it's there. But it's gonna be a tough sell here. There's gonna be a tough sell on that. Back up, Prime. You said you were comparing Baltimore's receiving core and Buffalo's receiving core, right? Not everybody in the picture.
I would just those two teams.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what Joe Burrow got. You know what I'm saying? I know what my man Sam Darnold is working
That's
with.
I
get all that. I'm just talking about those two.
Gotcha.
Because I don't think you would argue that either one of those teams has a better receiver than Justin Jefferson.
Right.
Neither one of them has a better receiver than the starting two receivers in Cincinnati. Neither one of them has a receiver better than the St. Brown. Right? So,
but to your point of doing stuff with teams that are decimated, we got to talk Detroit then, because Detroit, they injured list looks like half the team. Like
it's the whole defense. It was 10 players on defense. 10.
Oh, respect. But I'm gonna say this about Detroit. Now, I got to give them that edge, but they still got a St. Brown.
All right, that's fair.
That running game, you can say what you want. Best run-two punch they had until a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
You won't stop in that. They had like thunder and lightning, bro.
That is fair.
And if we're going to talk about, we're going to sit here and list the top 5 tight ends in the game, 5, 6 at least. Mm-hmm. Laporta's there.
Yeah.
Laporta was also.
You know what?
He was also hurt most of the year. Like he played, but
you got Andrews, Laporta. Or the Andrews, Laporta, Hawkinson, Kincaid.
Kincaid's going to. I truly believe Kincaid's going to be there.
Wait, are we taking Kelsey out of this top 5? Like,
no, I'm just saying of these pictures right here.
Oh, on this picture. Okay. I was like, oh, that might be a hot take.
Hey, Source, I know you want to answer this one because I saw. First somebody on X, appreciate you. Said co-MVP. I'd love to see it. It still would be outraged, but I'd like to see it. Give me co-MVPs and put them both on the Madden cover. All right,
wow, not the Madden cover.
I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but until McCaffrey decided to bring back, he decided to get hurt. Folks were doing okay for a minute. That myth was going away. But Liddy wants to know, how can Burrow be in the convo but no Patrick Mahomes?
Oh, my gosh. How many times have y'all scored 30 points, bro? How many times have y'all scored 30 points? I can tell you. 0. End of discussion. We got nothing to talk about. What are we doing?
Man, just wanted to know. Then they snubbed the man.
I knew.
Snubbed the man for the Pro Bowl, too.
I've seen people arguing. Well, not people. I think it was maybe Shannon Sharp or somebody like that. They was talking about Patrick Mahomes would be. What? No, he won't. No, he won't. Why would he be? Why would he be?
Yeah, this is statistically his worst year. Like, I get it. Like the Chiefs, they went 15-1, probably. I'm gonna go to win probably 16-1. I think they can still probably win. Whatever. We'll talk about that when we get to start picking the game.
Prime, he's disrespecting your mans.
We'll get to that when we start talking the games. I put nothing past it. I don't know. But it this is statistically his worst year. Obviously his rookie year, but he only played one game. I'm not going to count that. When he was starting, I think the problem with people who have won MVP before is they also look at, well, how did you do your other MVP years? And I think that hurts. I think that hurts a lot of, repeat MVP winners. Because you not only have to be better than everybody else in the league, but now you have to be better as well. You won it last year, the year before.
They're comparing your other MVP stats to what you're doing now. Yeah. So, interesting. All right, so for the record, those Source, you're not going to hear me argue anything about 15 need to be in the MVP conversation or none of that, you know. But I do understand. I do know. I do know. Statistically, it's not one of his better years, but he's been there when they needed him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think too with Mahomes is you got to realize that, hey man, he carried these people for a lot of them years. Why not let them carry him some? You see what I'm saying?
No, I don't see what you're saying. Let them carry him some. No, man, Lamar and Josh ain't none of them.
I ain't talking about the MVP. I'm talking about in general.
Oh, yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. I agree. It's the same as same as people when they used to holler, well, Brady, well, they had a good defense, and you know, the same thing. I get that.
I mean, it goes back to that thing. Wins shouldn't be a quarterback stat. Like, if we being honest.
Nah, I don't care if I catch flack for it. I caught flack for saying that one time before, but I agree. I don't think it's the end all be all.
No.
What's that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Wins being a quarterback stat, like it's not the end all be all. And
true.
My biggest thing on it is the year Brady tore his ACL, lost game 1. Granted, we didn't go to the playoffs that year, but we won 11 games. Won 11 games.
11-5.
Just so happened it was a great AFC that year. And it's like, so clearly we had a complete team. We lost our quarterback. Probably would have put over the hunch, but it's like you still won 11 games that year. Wins can't be a quarterback stat because we saw what Matt Castle did the next year when he went to Kansas City.
That's true.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Got a comment comparing Lamar and other MVPs is disingenuous to the idea that it's a year-to-year award. The problem is that people are going to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree.
I don't like that either, especially when he's talking about last year.
Yeah.
No, the difference is, like, it's like people don't want to appreciate the stat along with the record. I get the stat along with the record if there's nobody doing anything that's groundbreaking that season. Right. I get it. We got people doing crazy stuff this season.
Yeah.
And he's one of them.
Without a doubt. Yeah, you think about, like, you look at Lamar, and when we're talking about it, and a lot of people feel that it's Lamar's period, it's runaway. But let's just think about this. If we were putting up the argument that I'm putting up as far as Josh Allen is concerned, and there was no Lamar, right? I think that Josh Allen runs away with it. So that just tells you how crazy, for me, how crazy what Lamar has done this year. You see what I'm saying? That if he's not in the picture, I think Josh Allen runs away with it.
Yeah, I think it's a two-man race, even with Saquon being crazy.
Yeah.
Even with Saquon being crazy. And somebody could argue, man, Saquon should be in the running just based on his effect on the team. And I would get that. But yeah, I mean, you know,
I've been saying that for weeks. I've been saying that for weeks that I think that he should be. I think you asked me about a week or two ago about, we were talking about, I think, what should golf, where does golf, either golf or Donald.
Golf and Donald, yeah.
Where they fit into this. And when we were talking, I said, well, it's a couple of running backs I got my eye on. It's particularly one in general course, and that's Saquon Barkley. You know, it's kind of sad to say that, as far as Derrick Henry is concerned, that his own guy canceled him out. Like, let's say this. What if Saquon didn't rush for 2,000, right? And let's say that Derrick Henry had hit 19. Just at 19, he didn't got to hit 2,000. But he did at 19. How are we viewing Derrick Henry in this MVP race?
I think he's right.
He would be in that picture spot right there.
He would, but to what you guys have been saying, it's really a two-man race. It's like it would still be that two-man race just because his own guy is canceling him out.
But we agree he's in the race, right? Like he would be arguably number 3.
He gonna be 3 is 3.
Three is
He could be top 5, so
he'll be top 5.
Top 5, yeah. Because I think we kind of gloss over Goff and Darnold for whatever reason, because they got good team. Like their whole team is good, generally speaking. So we kind of gloss over them a little bit. Plus, they're not flashy. And we don't expect it from Darnold, so they're like, well, he'll get comeback player of the year or whatever, probably something like that. So
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Well, can we?
But Derrick Henry still might be about 10. He might be about 10 this year. He might be around that 10 mark.
Interesting.
I mean, you got 6 right here: Mahomes, Daniels. Where you on next?
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, I can't think about it.
Me neither.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I got nothing else.
Well. No, just for the conversation piece.
Cooper Rush is not in the running prime.
Because we're thinking about it is quarterbacks and running backs, right? But I'm going to insert another player for you if you base on his numbers now. And I know it's unconventional. Jamar Chase.
I'm with you.
Ain't Jamar like 1,700, something like that?
1,717 touchdowns.
And this man out there talking about he wasn't going to play early in the year. He wanted his money.
And remember, at the beginning, he started slow, and people was like, "Oh, well, he's playing like that because he ain't get his money."
Yeah, he did start slow. He did start slow and then just exploded. So I'm just saying. What do you guys think about this? Because I know I brought up the somebody brought up the co-MVP. So say we don't get a co-MVP, right? It doesn't happen. They give it to Lamar. Would you guys be okay with a co-offensive player of the year?
Yes, I would. If it's Burrow and Saquon, yeah, I'm good.
So Burrow and Chase can't win it?
No.
Burrow, that would be disgusting.
That would be disgusting.
Especially if they don't make the playoffs too. Like this, the miracle doesn't happen today. Things don't fall their way. They don't make the playoffs. The offensive player of the year comes out, and it's Chase and Burrow. I mean, it's been crazy enough, man. Why not? I mean, come on, bro.
Saquon would have been robbed. That's highway robbery.
Oh yeah, Philly turning over chairs and tables and stuff.
We got the chat. We got Lamar and Saquon for co-offensive player of the year. So if they so are you saying they? Because you trying to say that Lamar not winning the MVP? Or you saying Lamar win the MVP? Can you get both?
Yeah, you
can definitely get both. I don't know how many players have gotten both. Man. Let's see.
Yeah, are you saying Lamar winning the MVP and the offensive player of the year, or at least a co with Saquon?
Man,
let me know in the chat. And once again, appreciate you for checking us out too. He doesn't have the person's name on there, but they over on the X platform, and I appreciate you checking us out over there. Okay, so he's got. Well, he's giving Josh. He's giving Josh Allen the MVP. Lamar and Saquon for offensive player of the year. I ain't mad at that, for real.
I'm not mad. Actually,
we're gonna be a march on Washington, boy. We'll be out there, Joe. It'll be like the $1 Million Man March again.
Let me throw this up real quick. For the folks over on checking us out over on X. Well, I don't have it up right here, but if you're checking us out over on X, we appreciate you there. You can also come over to the Facebook group as well. Join the group, man. It's the SBP, or check us out on YouTube over on SBP TV. Appreciate you. Wherever you checking us out, man. We appreciate you for sure.
Quick for you, Prime. The most recent person to win MVP and Offensive Player of the Year in the same year is Peyton.
Okay.
Denver.
Yeah, 2013.
Yep, the Broncos. Hit that like button. Yeah, for sure. All of you faithfuls that come through a week, if you haven't subscribed to SBP TV over on YouTube, do that, because I say there's going to be some exclusive stuff, even here in the off season, that won't be able to find initially over on Facebook or X. It'll be exclusively to that channel as we start to build it. So come on through, set your alerts, hit the like button and all that. But we appreciate y'all. Much love on that. Last thing, we were talking about Joe Burrow And I know I already know the numbers, but every time I see him in front of me, I just like it. Just this is crazy to think about this man. Like 43 touchdowns. Like, come on, man. This, it scared me yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw the game last night when he was out on the ground for a minute. I think it'll be the worst thing ever. He messes around and he gets hurt, and then the miracle happens. And they get the playoffs. Man, like my heart just dropped. I said, "This is what's going to happen. This is terrible." Bad. And then next possession, he was back out there on the field. I was glad to see it, but that thing had me scared for a minute, bro.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the teams, y'all, that's firmly in the playoffs. Josh Allen and them, the Ravens, definitely Kansas City. Y'all know y'all sitting at home just rooting for Cincinnati not to get in, and I would too.
Can I show y'all something real quick?
Yeah.
Hope y'all can see it. Let me see. Can y'all see this?
Travel.
I can't read.
Oh, that is tragic.
I can't see it.
It say traveled 1,000 miles to see Saquon break the record. That is tragic.
Yo, I gotta have that up on the screen, man.
That's hilarious.
My goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious.
I hope you enjoy the game, regardless. I mean,
yeah.
I hope you at least enjoy the game, man. I mean, they maybe
and well, we'll get to that part, but yeah, they might have a double negative, actually. Triple negative if it's snow.
Maybe somebody sees your sign and let's say Quan said me, you get lucky, maybe he signs something for you. I don't know, man. I hope, man.
Keep hope alive.
Sign something for him, man. Wow. They let me see what we got. Yeah, Liddy brought up a good point too. Liddy, I haven't seen anything on his health, but I was saying that to you. I know Zay Flowers got hurt yesterday too.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, I didn't see the extent of the injury. I thought he just because they were up pretty decently by the time he had got hurt. So I thought it was just like, all right, we're just gonna sit the rest of the game. Like, ain't no point at this point. So I haven't seen anything this morning. Hopefully it ain't too serious.
Yeah, I hope not, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though he played excellent yesterday, like Rashad Bateman, I have no faith in Rashad Bateman as my number one receiver.
Yeah.
Especially the way they use Zay Flowers in that, and even in the run game, like those jet sweeps and all that and that stuff, those quick screens, to set you up. Then they send them deep. Yeah, I don't need this to be one of those years we're having these conversations and then we're talking about the Ravens being one and done. Not saying that would be the end all be all, but your boy need all. They need to be firing on all cylinders. We need some exciting playoff football, man.
He's going under MRI today, so we'll hopefully get some news by at least the time afternoon games start, probably.
Right.
It says non-contact injury is never good. You right about that, brother. You are right about that. But yeah, just staring at Burrow's numbers, man. 8 games this year where he had at least 3 touchdowns. Sick.
It's crazy. He was balling, but that record is they couldn't win those close games.
Had to put up too many points.
Yeah, had to do it to be in it.
Yeah, that's tough. That's also unfair. I don't like when people try to blame the quarterback when they score 37 points and they lose. Remind me of one mistake all day. What you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, what you want me to do, bro? And I can't go back and pick off passes too, bro.
Right.
When we play nose tackle, I mean,
y'all saw the picture of Baker Mayfield.
31, huh?
Y'all saw the picture of Baker Mayfield playing D-line, scout D-line at Carolina. Oh my God. That made me think of it because you said it's the picture. That.
That is crazy, man. And speaking of that, then, but let's get into these games, man. We got 6 games that we're gonna pick. Try to, there's a few playoff scenarios out there, and it's funny you bring up Baker Mayfield, and why is he all of a sudden on my television? But he's also playing in the first game that we are talking about today, and you would say, why in the world are you talking about the Bucs and the Saints? Because the Bucs there's a playoff scenario for them, right?
Yep.
They could get in and be the number 3 seed There are some things that can happen. They could be the number 4 seed, and there's some things that can happen. They miss the playoffs altogether, right? So Baker and them need to get out here and make things happen to secure this win and to get themselves into the playoffs. Source, what do you think about this game, man?
Man, Tampa Bay don't beat the brace all these people. All right, first of all, Brown, let me at least point out the fact that last week we'd had picks from me, you, Cuzzo, JB, and Caesar. And I just wanted to point out the fact that one of us went undefeated. 3 of us had 1 L. And one of us had 5 L's.
Dang, I must have been
out of 6 games. 6 games. I just want do you want to take a guess at who has 5 L's? Anybody? Anybody?
First of all, was it me?
Heck no, it wasn't
Caesar.
you.
Caesar.
It was obviously Caesar. What do you mean? 1 and 5.
I was just wondering because I had 2 straight weeks. I think that I went like 5-1 or something. So I was my downfall was coming, but it won't me. I'm good. So it was Caesar.
No, y'all three, you, Cuzzo, and JB were 5-1. I was 6-0. Caesar was 1-5. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe I went with 3 straight weeks with 1 loss.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn, I should have got into stuff. Okay. It wouldn't have fared if more than 6 games. I wouldn't have fared well. So now, never mind. But yeah, what you think about this game?
Yeah. I can't respect. I mean, I can't even waste y'all's time on talking about New Orleans for real. Tampa Bay, 40-13.
Jesus.
Woo!
What y'all think gonna happen? I'm interested to see what y'all gonna say.
Well, they need to win because, like I said, they'll miss the playoff. One of the scenarios they'll miss the playoffs if they lose this game, then the Falcons come up with a win today.
Yeah.
Wait. Baker Mayfield throws 4 touchdowns. I said it. I said it. Baker Mayfield and 4 touchdowns. Yes, I heard you correctly.
You know that you say that. I believe Mike Evans needs, I think it's like 85 yards to tie Jerry Rice for 11 to have 11 straight 1,000-yard games.
Yes, that is true. That is what that's the only thing I care about for this game. He needs 5 receptions and 85 yards to get a $3 million contract bonus. I'm watching the incentive games. That's all I'm caring about this week.
Money Mike. Well, you got them winning it.
Oh yeah, I got, but I do got Tampa winning it, but 40-13 was crazy. I just
we put up points now. Don't get that.
they can, but I don't see it that badly. I go something more modest, like 28-14.
28-14. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay 33-13. I see Bucket Irvin getting a little work in there before they decide to pull him out. They're gonna try to get up on these people early so they can hopefully secure and not have to run some people late in the game. So especially Bucket Irvin being nicked up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Wow. So there's some playoffs stuff on the line, and there's some incentives tangled into that mix as well. Yeah, I think Baker gonna get the Bucs into the playoffs for his 2nd straight season. Baker earning that money.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna get him in there.
Watch this, Prime. Shout out to Baker Mayfield on playing pretty well this season. He did a good job this season.
What? Okay. We got a new first here in the SPP. Source is giving Baker Mayfield his props. Y'all write that down, clip that, all that.
You got to clip it. Might not have it again.
Next up, we have we're gonna roll with the Panthers and the Falcons. We're just talking about the Atlanta Falcons, and they're still in it. They're still in it, man. They need some things to happen as well. They need to beat the Panthers today, and they need the Bucs to lose to the Saints to have a shot. So they riding the arm of one Michael Penix Jr., who I don't know how I really feel about him because I know they're 2-0 since he's been the quarterback. But that first game that he played, he didn't score a touchdown at all. He had nothing to do with his legs or his arms. Played a little bit better last week. Looked like they were starting to click, but Interesting game. I do not sleep on the Carolina Panthers, especially the way that Adam Thielen been playing here lately. Him and now your boy Young got something special going on. But Diz, what you think about this, man?
I have no faith in the Carolina Panthers. I know you just said don't sleep on them, but I have no faith. I have zero faith on them. I do think it'll be closer. Like they have been playing better. 39 to I'm sorry, that 39 to 3 just threw me off for a loop in the comments.
Oh, word. 39 to 3.
Hold on. You know, we didn't get Don's pick. Did you get Don's pick? 39?
Nah.
Yeah, 39-3.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna go. I would say 27-20 Atlanta. I do think it'll be close, but I don't have much faith in Carolina.
He also said the Bucks in that game will get a safety in that game too. So
That's possible. I wouldn't be surprised actually.
What'd you say, Diz?
27-20 Atlanta.
27-20. All right. I'll go 24-16 Atlanta. Yeah, actually, Atlanta lost last week, right?
Yeah, to Washington.
So they 1-1 with Penix, right?
1-1, that's right.
Yeah, 24-16.
He played better. He played one.
Yeah, definitely. And he threaded the needle. Like he threw some bouncers. He threw some bounce passes, but he also threaded the needle a couple times last week. But 24-16 Atlanta, they need it. And yeah, Carolina will play hard though.
I think Atlanta better be careful. I do. I think they better be careful. And I was really set to pick the Panthers in this game is to beat them. The only reason that I'm going to take Atlanta though is because I did see them give Bijan the rock. Like Bijan was getting the rock, he was running the ball, looked real effective last week. And if you're going to give Bijan the rock, then I got to think you want to win. That's what you need to do if you want to win. So, you know, now I'm saying this and watch the Bijan don't get but 9 carries the whole game. Now because I'm saying that, right? But they better be careful with the Carolina Panthers. But I'm gonna take the Falcons in this game, in a good game, 24-20.
All right.
Don has the Panthers 20-17. Yeah, Don, I'm right with you, man. I really want to take these people, man. I kind of want to take Carolina, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna know around about 3:30 or so, and I'm gonna get that message. Don gonna message me. So I told you. I said, bro, I was feeling it. I know. But yeah, it is what it is. Who we got next? Next, guys, we are going to go to. Let's go to the Seahawks and Rams. Seahawks and Rams set to do battle today. The Rams don't give a darn about seeding, man, because they have a chance. They had a chance today to get the number 3 seed. McVay was like, whatever seed. We're going to play who we're going to play from where we're going to play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have the division, right?
Yeah, so yeah, they had the actual chance to be the number 3 seed. You know, so, but he said, I don't care. I'm just going to sit everybody. So we're not expecting to see no starting quarterback, no Puka Nacua. You know, probably no Kyron Wynn. They just sitting everybody in this game from what he's saying. So they're just going to let the chips fall where they may. Now, on the flip side, Seattle, which a couple of weeks ago I would have told you I thought they were probably going to make the playoffs, make a wild card at least, and they are now eliminated. But they've got some kickers in this game.
Oh, are they eliminated? Dang.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
They're done.
Oh, that changes my. I thought they at least had something to fight for. Never mind.
Now, you got a few things. That Geno got some things to fight for. Geno can get a $2 million incentive for the team getting to 10 wins. He also can get another $2 million if he gets to 4,282 yards. He needs 185 yards, basically.
Let's go, Geno.
$2 million, So he's going to be out there slinging and saying, let me at least get this money if I'm going to be sitting home next week.
Yeah.
So, Source, what you think?
Geno go out going for the money.
Yeah.
Smith and Jigba about to get about. He about to have about 8 to 9 catches. That's his man's. Yeah, I got Seattle heavy-handed in this joint because the Rams don't care. 30-12.
30-12. Yeah, I mean it is starters against backups. I might echo that. I'm gonna go 31-10 just to not keep it the same.
I like that.
I like the number 33 today. I'm gonna take matter of fact, give me another 33-13. Seattle.
Okay.
Like
Brian, what your hat say?
Oh, Cowboys.
I like the hat until you just said that part.
Yeah. I was gonna say probably glaring because of the light, but
yeah,
got the Texas.
I should have known what it said. I don't even know why I asked.
Well, I feel I've wear it at least one last time this football season, I guess.
There you go.
We still gonna see it all February.
Yeah. You gonna switch to a Knicks hat once the season over?
I done had a Knicks hat on here a couple of times during the football broadcast. That's gonna always be there. So that's gonna always be there. So, with Don got 28-13. What's crazy, Don. That was my original score.
Seattle, cousin.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
He said
Jimmy G.
Oh yeah, and Jimmy G is starting quarterback, by the way, for the Rams.
I didn't know Jimmy G was their backup.
Yeah,
I didn't know either. That's not bad. Hold on, I might have to change my score. He might.
No, Jimmy G might be throwing 3 picks. That is the sign.
Who he throwing the ball to, Source?
I don't know. He gonna throw it to Higbee. They're gonna let Higbee play today.
Marcus Robinson messed around with 3 touchdowns.
Watch Higbee had 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna be mad.
Man.
Hey, I hope we get to see a lot of Blake Corum though. Hope Blake Corum had to tote the rock today. I hope.
Definitely.
I really thought that Blake would get a lot more carries than he's gotten this year, but they've been riding Kyron Williams hard.
I feel like they had the plan to, and then Kyron Williams just did what he did all year.
Showed you that those flashes he showed you last year weren't no fluke.
You're right.
Yeah. So, all right. So what we get? Well, what we got next? Everybody got their scores. Next up, we're going to jump back up here. I don't know how I skipped it. Probably because of the guy that's the quarterback of one of these teams. We got the Dolphins and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins and Jets set to do battle today. And why are we talking about the Jets? Well, we're talking about this game because the Dolphins still have a chance to make the playoffs today. They need a win. Right. And then they also need the Broncos to lose versus the Chiefs. And we already know it's about a 73% chance, I think, that the Broncos will get in. The Broncos just need to win today, win or tie against the Denver Broncos, who was resting everybody, it seems like. And Bo Nix and those guys get into the playoffs. The Dolphins got an outside shot, but what's crazy is they're going to have to do it on the arm and legs of Snoop Huntley. Because Tua is still nursing that hip injury. Diz, what you think about this one?
As I was saying earlier, I think Cincinnati makes it to the playoffs, and for that to happen, I need either a Miami loss or a tie. And because I don't want either of these teams to win, I'm going for the tie. 17-17.
A 17-17 tie?
17-17 tie. No, seriously though, I do think I think the Jets will get it. I think the Jets will get it in truth, but I'm picking the 17-17 tie.
Man, I like that. That's how you end the regular season. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you gotta have something ugly.
What I'm talking about.
You gotta have something ugly.
Hey, look, and it's gonna probably be something crazy like the Dolphins are driving to go out to try to get in field goal range. Snoop Huntley goes on a scramble. He goes for the slide, and the ball comes out before it's completed.
That's heavy.
And the Jets recover. There's not enough time on the clock, bro.
Yep.
And it ends in a 17-17 tie. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
That's heavy.
Oh, Liddy, you didn't hear me earlier say that KC was going to win.
That is heavy.
KC gonna beat the Broncos. KC gonna be playing with the third string squad. They still gonna
win. Just to be clear, Miami and the Jets are gonna tie. That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying. I need some ugliness to end this year.
All right. Well, I'll go Miami 11 and the Jets 8. 11-8.
That's definitely ugly.
Whoa. That is crazy. That is crazy. I think Aaron Rodgers, he need one touchdown to get 500, I believe. He needs one touchdown today to make, a milestone for him.
He's been sitting there for a minute.
More than likely his last game as a New York Jet. And maybe his last game ever, and I'm not going to be upset about that.
I know you're not.
No, whatsoever. Not going to shed a tear. Not going to shed a tear. But, I believe he's sitting at $4.99. Did you got that up?
It's $4.99. That's right.
I thought so. Yeah, because last week they said he needed it still, and he didn't throw a touchdown.
He ain't throwing not near another.
He did 2 interceptions.
So we know that it would be his preference to Devontae to get that touch, to get that out, to catch that ball. But in all likelihood, if somebody catches it has to be Lazard. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
And Lazard ends up getting it. Even though it wouldn't be bad if Garrett Wilson was the catch, because all the speculation about he wants to get up out there. I
don't know if it's speculation. You saw that comment.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson said, "Don't even throw me the ball."
And I don't know how much it would even mean to him anyway. I'm like, shoot, what does this mean to me? I mean, you ain't gonna be there.
Right.
He definitely throwing that on the stands. He's definitely throwing that on the stands.
So look, does he do that? Does he do it out of spite, catches it, just throw it out there and just walk back, or does he act like he giving it to a fan? But realistically, he meant, I don't want this.
He lost that jump like AJ.
He ain't gonna go through the motions of trying to get it back either. He gonna
it's gone. I ain't signing nothing. I ain't trading nothing.
Dang. Don got the Dolphins 17-13.
If it's not a tie, something just tells me the Dolphins are gonna drop the ball. So that's what I don't see. No matter what, I just can't see them winning.
What'd you say, Brian?
I'm taking the Jets. I mean, they got to win something, right? I'm gonna take the Jets, and I mean, I think the defense, trick Huntley into something. They can get an interception, a couple of fumbles, something to hold like 9 yards. But I'm gonna take the Jets to win this game, 20-16.
I like that, Prime. I like it. And they carry Aaron Rodgers off the field. Hey, for he is a jolly good guy.
They carry him off the field and say, "All right, you done."
Drop him in the parking lot.
Right.
So what'd you have?
I had 11-8.
Man,
that's right. You had the ugly score.
Indeed. And that leads us to the last game, which, of course, is the game of the week, the big game. And this is also, we've been talking about how crazy a season this has been. And as far as statistics with players and, quarterbacks and running backs doing this, and quarterbacks and teams putting up these numbers and maybe sitting at home. This one comes with one of the craziest scenarios ever. And it's the Vikings and the Lions. Everybody will be tuned in. Most of you are going to know what I'm talking about. We have two teams set to do battle, play in the same division, fighting for the 1 seed, which many thought Detroit had already had locked up. The loser of this game will most likely be the 5th seed. And what makes this even crazier, it will be the first 14 team for a team with 14 wins to be the 5th seed. How ridiculous is that? The first game of the season gave us some fireworks. It was 31-29, looking like Minnesota had it sold up. Vikings put some things, Lions put some things together, put up some scores. And I believe it was, if I remember right, it was St. Brown that made a key catch later in that game to set them in the field goal range. And the Lions won that game 31-29. So this is going to be crazy, but I'm hoping it's what we all expected to be, and it's going to be great. You got any feelings on this game?
I'm so torn on this game. I've been thinking about this in the back of my mind the entire time we've been streaming because I still don't know who to pick. Right? Detroit has 19 players who are going to be out. 17 of those 19 are on injured reserve, so they're just done for the year. But they keep winning somehow. And I'm just like, it has to stop at some point, right? Like, you figure when playoff football, things get more, they get like, more just slower. The game gets slower. The game gets more physical, all of that. And I'm just like, they can't keep winning. They can't keep doing this. But I think they're going to keep doing it. 27-24 Detroit.
Okay. I like it. Source.
27-24 Detroit. Something unrelated just popped in my head. I'm sorry. Before I forget. Do y'all remember what the score was, Minnesota Green Bay last week?
I don't actually.
Was it 27-25?
I feel like it was 27-24, right? 20. Oh, shoot.
It might have been 27-25 because I know Green Bay came back.
Yeah. I feel like it was 27-25.
27-25, yeah.
Okay. I just noticed that Prime predicted 28-25 Minnesota.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. So, pretty good there. Pretty good.
That much. I missed it. That would have been a clip. I ain't go back and check.
That'd
have been a clip right there.
Man, this game is going to be so fun tonight. I cannot wait for this play. And I hope it's as offensively crazy as we would wish it to be. It probably won't be because, playoffs on the line. It might slow down a little bit. So part of me wants to make the score a little lower. But I don't know, man. Also, one last thing. Sean, McVay. Hey, McVay, wow. McVay, wow. Deep dive. The Rams lose. Fall to the 4. Minnesota beats Detroit. Detroit falls to the 5. Who plays?
Oof.
Matt Stafford and Jared Goff.
Woo!
Ooh. Sean McVay is crazy, son. He's setting it up.
The fix is in.
Since I said all that, I guess I got to pick Minnesota. So I'm going to go with Minnesota to get the win. And for all of us to have hyped, not that they're any worse, but for all of us to have hyped Detroit so much. And then Detroit doesn't even win the division and he falls to the 5 seed. That's crazy.
That's a dangerous 5 seed.
With only 3 losses. Oh my gosh. I'm going 27-25. No, sorry. What was their score? 31-29 last time? I'm going 30-28. 30-28 Minnesota.
I got the Vikings 33-27. I got them 33-27 in this one. I just think that someone between Addison and my guy JJ, who is heating up all of a sudden after just letting everybody else get the shine, they starting to heat up. And I think those injuries on defense, especially in that secondary, this is one of those games where it catches up to Detroit. And they're going to split them just enough. Sam Darnold is out here trying to he about to get paid regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably by Minnesota. Minnesota's got a heck of a conundrum coming up now because, dang, we're going to have to pay him now, right? We just drafted a quarterback and then and we got Daniel Jones just sitting there that we could just get back as a backup for very little money. Like, what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do?
Decisions.
Yeah, so. And then if I'm Sam Darnold, I'm going to show out, especially in this game. I'm going to want to show out because I know somebody got to pay me. Why not pay me here where I know we can win?
Yeah, I like it here.
Yeah, I like it here. It's nice. Look at the carpet. Look at the drapes. That's one of them things. So, very interesting. You see Don got Detroit 29-27.
I think it's just like, you're right. Their secondary is going to be extremely tested, but their secondary has been very tested. I think, since all these injuries have happened, all they've done, other than the Buffalo game, which you put up 42, your offense did everything you needed to do to win that game.
Yeah.
The other team just put up 48. Like, that's tough.
Who fault is that?
I don't know if Minnesota putting up 48.
Wow. What was your score, Dish?
27-24.
27-24. Got it. Detroit.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're home. So I have to give the home field got to give them something.
I love this. I love it. Wait, we only did 5? We did 5 games, or did I miss something?
Oh, we didn't talk the Kansas City game.
Oh, well, I tell you what, let's talk it then. Kansas, let's go. What do y'all think? I mean, I know that of course, we know that Kansas City, as we mentioned before, is sitting everybody for the most part. From what we're hearing, they're sitting everybody. Mm-hmm. So, their leading receiver will probably be like Watson or somebody. But what do you guys think, man? You think the Broncos, the Broncos essentially just need to win, and they are in. Now remember the Chiefs got snowed in yesterday, so they were late getting to Denver, and they eventually made it, but they got snowed in over at the airport. But it's still gonna be a very interesting game. I know Andy Reid just cares about being healthy, but Andy Reid's a competitor still, though, bro. And he feels like he thinks Carson Wentz can go out here and get it done, even against this tough Denver Broncos defense. So, what you think about this?
Man, if Denver loses, Jones, they might as well not even come back next season. Denver 27-17. They better not lose. I would like them to lose to see Cincinnati in the playoffs, but yeah, they better not lose this.
I told you, I think Denver gonna lose this. They're going in the wrong direction. The last 2 weeks they needed to win, and they were in, and they lost to LA and they lost to Cincinnati. I think they just lose it again. I don't think it's 34-27 Kansas City.
Woo! Carson Wentz going crazy.
I think Carson Wentz got one more game in him. He trying to play to hope that he can get another contract somewhere. I think he got one more game in him.
This is crazy though. Like we were talking about the scenario with Cincinnati and how unlikely it is. But just thinking about this now, I don't know, man. Because look, we're talking about Source just mentioned this thing about the Bengals getting in. So to be clear, the Broncos just need to win or tie. That's it, and they're in. Cincinnati needs the Broncos to lose, and they need the Dolphins to lose.
Yeah, Dolphins could tie. That's why I picked the tie there.
That would be crazy, yo.
I mean, it's the last day, bro. We didn't see some crazy stuff.
That's what it's been a crazy year. I'm going for one more bout of craziness.
Man, oh man, oh man. Don said he liked the horses 28-17. I'm gonna roll with the horses too. I'm gonna roll with the horses too. Now let me get the horses 22-17.
Thought you were gonna say 13, right? 22-17.
Nah, they did find a way to get the kickoff.
We got 17 outside the dish. We got 17 across.
34-27 might have been a reach. I might edit that down to 24-17. That was a lot. 34 as I sat with it, that was a little bit much. I'm gonna revise that. Take that 24-17.
Okay. Well, we got 17 across the board.
There it is. So it ought to be a super fun last week. Of course, the sadness does come in because as every year, after 7 o'clock or 7:30, whatever, I had to sit back and watch the red zone till it goes to that last screen when it says something like "Thank you, everybody, see you," whatever, blah blah blah, And I just sit there for a minute, realizing that's all it's gonna say for about 8 months. 8 months. I do it every year, bro. Just sad. You know, I say it every year too, so it's probably used to it. You know, you guys, Source knows my favorite football movie, of course, is Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, yeah.
And I always think about, did you seen it, right? Friday Night Lights, the movie. You remember the part when Boobie Miles walks into the locker room like in the Public Enemy jacket, and he walks in there dapping everybody because he's pulling the stuff out of his locker. Then he walks back out to the car with his uncle sitting there. He's like, "What we gonna do now? What we gonna do?" That's me. That's me the last week of the season when when the red zone goes down to that screen and see you next year, thank you and all that stuff.
I get that. It's a very sad year. Usually, obviously not with the playoffs for college football.
Yep.
I got a few more weeks there, but it's like usually this is the last week of bowl week. This is, like you said, NFL regular season is ending. All my football is coming to a close. So a sad part of the year.
Yeah, it's sad. If you're go ahead.
Speaking of playing college football, I just got the text Prime. My cousin said, "Come on down to Miami for the Penn State, John." Now I got to rethink my life.
That's gonna be a good game.
I'm already off. So
yeah, make that happen.
We're gonna pray on that.
That's a good game.
Yeah, man. So we just fall back to, it ain't the same, but I love the women's game. So I'm at least gonna have that. Matter of fact, on cue, for those of you who care, because I know we've been talking to NFL, but if you're pulling up extra screens like me, the magnificent Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame just tipped off against number 17 North Carolina over on ESPN, and Neil Ivey's looking good in that dress, but
she might be a little frustrated. Didn't her son get hurt?
Yeah, he out for the season, I believe. He think he broke a bone in his leg or something like that. Young Jay.
Hate to see it.
Yep. So if you're into the women's game, I think all the heavy hitters play today. Notre Dame's on, South Carolina's on. My squad, we're not heavy hitters, but we number 15 in the country, taking on number 9 Oklahoma today at 3 on ESPN. Flage and them playing Auburn. Juju and them are on later on tonight, and then UConn also.
They should be on at some point.
Said SN, they playing Villanova, but they over, so they might be able to find it somewhere. They say it's on SNY, so I don't know. But all the a lot of the marquee names are on TV today. Just got to find it between SEC Network, ESPN Plus, something if you're not on regular TV. So,
word.
Did you got anything for the people, man?
Just follow me on all social media at DidgeD. It's Didge as you see right there, and then it's just DEE. I'm on pretty much every platform in some capacity. I'll be tweeting out random stuff.
Well, Didge, I'm gonna put it out there now, and I'll tell. I already know the deal with Joel. Joel said maybe after the season, so we probably won't see Joel until he taking that serious, bro. So
I know I asked him yesterday, and he was like, "The season ain't over yet."
He said it.
He told me. He said again the other day. This time he said maybe after the season. So he just still crushed right now. And Joel, if you watch it, man, because I know sometimes you peep. No disrespect to the Giants, man, but y'all go ahead and win it today too.
You mean disrespect?
Go ahead and win. I need y'all to win. Go ahead and win today, sir. I need y'all to get further out of those quarterback spots as possible. But I told them as always, we will be doing when it's all said and done, we'll do a wrap-up show prior to the Super Bowl, probably wrapping the Super Bowl in the season, so all that. But Didge, playoffs start next week, so I'll send the link. Anytime that you are available from here through the playoffs, you are welcome to come on any Sunday. For the next few weeks, man. So I'll send the link. If you can come through, come through. We fully understand, but we'll be here somewhere between 11 and 11:30. We'll let you know in most, those weeks. And I'll let Jawan know as well on that. Source, what you got for the people?
I'm running it back, Prime. I'm bringing back Source and Company live on TikTok. Um, I'm starting tomorrow. I'm gonna do 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, a couple times a week. Wednesday we got a beat site for this week. One more time. Hopefully, all the producers are pulling up with their beat. They asked me to pick a sample for them. Pick a song for them to sample, and they all gonna pick the same. Use the same song or sample it and make a beat for that joint. So got them using Donny Hathaway's "Giving Up," and we'll see what they can come up with that. That's Wednesday. That'll be at 7 p.m. But the show will start at 6, and I will be even more active, I think, this year because we ain't getting no younger, babe. We might as well do it. So we're just going in and throwing it all out there and keeping it going.
And all I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna be a little more active this year on a few things, probably more on YouTube. But I will let y'all know about that. I got some things I'm thinking about, I'm trying to work on, but they haven't all come to fruition yet. But we're gonna start with some shorts, and then we're gonna go from there. But it will be on the SBP TV channel, so y'all look for that. But other than that, like Whitney Houston, I have nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. So
Whitney Houston ain't say that.
Oh, I thought that's what she said in the song. Well, I guess I have nothing, but I just ain't add the other part to it.
Yeah. She meant something different.
That is true. That's why I cut it. Man. Word up. So we appreciate y'all checking out. I'm about to pull up the rest of these screens, the red zone and the basketball. Maybe turn the sound down and bump some Muddy Waters too while I'm viewing. And at least hope I win some FanDuel money. And we shall go from there. Oh, I will say this because I would be doing a disservice if I didn't. Want to give a shout out to our 2 SBP fantasy football money winners this year. Tim Thorne, number 1, won the Godfather League, which is our big dog league.
Wait, Tim won money?
Yeah.
Tim owe me $10. I want my $10. You owe me $10 from like week 4. I want my money. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
That's Tim, right? That's Tim, aka Kenny Rogers. They call him the gambler. Yeah. He get out there and does his thing when you playing poker, card, whatever. He does it. FanDuel. And then once again, shout out to one of the mainstays over the other league. Stakes is High was won by Big Mo Price. So Big Mo out here, he went and got that money. And our second place guys in those leagues, Adam Yarbrough was second place. He won a little bit of change over in the Godfather League. And second place over in Stakes is High was your boy, Mr. Steve. It's your cousin. So he let me know immediately that he wanted I believe it was Steve. I gotta go back and look, but I think it was him. But he wanted a recount. I think for the recount, the numbers is there, bro. The numbers is there.
I demand a recount. Yes.
That man said he wanted a recount out there. So, so shout out to everybody involved there. I appreciate. And I'm sorry, and it wasn't Steve. It was Dabney. It was Marvin Dabney.
Dang, sorry, cousin.
Yeah, Steve ain't win the money. I think he was in the running, but Dab won the second. He said he wanted to recount, bro. So, so I set him up. So, and y'all better enjoy that because I know I said it before, but it might not be the one league next year. But we're gonna worry about it when we get there. So it is, unless somebody else want to run it. But I said that last year too. So the only thing that is certain is the Godfather League will remain. That ain't never going anywhere. So I'm saying. So I can't promise y'all nothing else. So we're gonna see. All right. But till next time, we'll be back at some form of fashion next week. We're gonna be talking playoffs and sprinkling a couple of other topics because games start next weekend. So we're gonna see. But this is the SBP, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We out.